Joining us now is our good friend Curtis Ellis, and he's a bigwig at America First Policy. He's a senior policy advisor and did all that good stuff. Worked in the Department of Labor, works on the transition team, was in the Trump campaign, and he was also the former executive director of the American Jobs Alliance, which I am now the executive director, but he's like, has a big, like, fancy title, like Chairman Emeritus or something. I don't even know how to say it. It's Latin for something. And he's joining us now. Curtis Ellis, good to have you, man.
Hey, it's good to be here, Mr. Executive Director. Thank you for having me.
I know.
You're a big shot, man. You're on the front page of Drudge.
I was on the front page of Drudge. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, there are a lot of hairless camels running around Arabia today. You got like 5 acres of camel hair coat on you. It's great. And I'm sure all those hairless camels are appreciating it too. You know, it's so hot over there in Arabia. What do they need all that hair for? They don't need hair. I am the advocate of camels in Saudi Arabia. That's why I'm going there. That's right. You're going to go over there, and you're going to get a fresh camel hair coat when you're over there. I
should get that. I don't know.
You're going to shear the camels yourself.
And I was thinking to myself that I pulled that out, like it was getting cold or whatever, and I was just trying to find something going to D.C., and I pulled it out. I haven't probably had that thing on since 2003.
It looks very good. You're looking very sharp there.
It was looking sharp, though.
And Martha Bonetta
and
Ivanka Trump. I mean, my gosh, that's like the power trio.
Well, I know. Well, they took the picture while I was shaking hands with Ivanka Trump. We talk too often, congratulating her on it. But, yeah, I mean, look, I thought that was pretty fashionable, though, right?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I turned on the computer this morning, opened up Drudge, first thing I do, and there's John Fredericks, there's Martha Bonetta with Ivanka Trump. My God. It's like, wow, I know these people? Touch me. My gosh.
That's pretty funny. Well, I tell you what,
where was that? Where'd you get that picture taken?
That was yesterday in the celebration on the White House South Lawn.
Oh my God! Yes. You go to all the cool things.
I know, don't I?
Yeah, me. Yeah. I'm up here in Tompkins Square Park in New York City with the junkies. You're down there with Ivanka Trump at the White House and the president and everybody.
You're with the junkies and whatever
the homeless
else.
People. I got the homeless for Bernie over here. They don't even know the election's over. These people are in the zone. They're in the ozone.
Did we ever tell the story on the air when we were in New Hampshire for the week covering the Trump campaign and the primary? And we go to a park. I guess we were walking from dinner to the hotel, the breakfast or something. And it was on a Sunday, right? And there was all these homeless people in this park in New Hampshire, Manchester, right? And they all camped out. But they had campaign signs, right? They were homeless, like tents and sleeping bags, and they have the bags. And the campaign sign that they had gotten some sheet or written it, and they said, "Homeless for Bernie, get more free stuff."
Right, that's great. Yep. Well, really, you're there with Ivanka Trump and and Martha Bonetta and the president and Speaker Ryan and all these other rich, powerful elitists and all that stuff. And this Sunday though, I did get to see Joe Piscopo, your fellow Salem radio host. I was
right, in New York
with Tony LoBianca and
yes, very nice. See, so you get to rub elbows, but they were very nice in inviting me there for my participation in helping them get this tax cut passed. We've been advocates of it on the radio for a very long time and on TV, and so I was
That's
very
right.
appreciative.
You have been countering the barrage of lies and misinformation and disinformation by the fake news media. So you have in front of that flood of information, you have been the dike.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I just called you a dyke, John.
Well, you don't mean a dyke as if
in a good way. It's not a pejorative term. You have been holding back the flood of lies and misinformation. Sometimes I wonder. It's like it's like a multi-trillion-dollar economy, and you've got this tax cut, which is going to do this and do that, and it's a very good thing. Don't get me wrong here. But sometimes I wonder if anybody can really know definitively exactly what it's going to do. I mean, you've done a great job. You've broken down. You've gone through all the brackets, and you know exactly what it's going to do for certain families and certain income brackets, right? You can predict that with your mathematical formula and everything else, and you can say, well, if you earn this much and you pay that much in mortgage, et cetera, you're going to get this much back. But on the macro level, on the huge level, I feel this way about elections too, because I work in campaigns. You know, sometimes you just wonder. It's sort of an existential question. You get up in the morning and you wonder, all the stuff I do on this election, it's kind of around the edges. I think people have kind of made up their mind already which way they're going to go. But that doesn't stop you from working. You just work harder. Well, one thing I do know for sure, though, is that the rest of the news media, they are absolutely convinced and they are certain they know exactly what this tax cut is going to do. And that's not their job. I mean, that's just impossible. How could a journalist, a guy like Chris Cuomo or Don Lemon or, some of those other people, what's your name, Baldwin, the whatever, one of those, nobody midday hosts on Fox News who's, handed a script to read it. But how could she know? How could they know exactly what this tax cut is going to do with 1,000% certainty the way they present it? I mean, just any objective observer would see that there's dozens of people giving dozens of interpretations, telling you hundreds of different things it could do. And some of them might be right some of the time, some of them might be right other times. But these guys on CNN, they are absolutely certain they know exactly what it's going to do, and it's going to destroy the world. If they had any sense at all, they would say, well, maybe it's going to do that, but I might be wrong, and it might do something else. So let's see.
They have to double and triple down. And here's my question for you, Curtis Ellis, who was with us. Curtis Ellis was with the Trump campaign like me from the very beginning, knew Mr. Trump way back when we fought NAFTA with him and fought TPP with him and these other ridiculous trade deals. And we still are the international slave trade, cheap labor, screw the American worker network that we battle every day. But Curtis Ellis, who is now a senior policy advisor with America First Policies, let me just ask you this straight up. You and I know the Democrats and the legacy media, who is their advanced Panzer tank division, right? They have been lying about this tax cut for now 3 months, right? They have lied through their teeth. They have misled everybody on it. Now it's passed. President's going to sign it. They've not only tripled down, they've quadrupled down. They're still lying today, and it's going to pass, and people are going to see that they were lying. I mean, there's a train wreck coming for them. There's a dumpster explosion coming. There's a Day of Atonement, right, where you're going to get home. You're going to open your paycheck up at January 30th. You're going to get another $50, $60, $70, $80, $100, and you're going to say, where'd I get this money, right?
Right, and then, exactly right. And if you work for AT&T or Wells Fargo or Bank of America
or Comcast
or Third First, you're going to get $1,000. If you're working at minimum wage there, your wages just went up to $15 an hour. AT&T is giving $1,000 bonus to all of its unionized employees and its frontline managers. So now the union guys, the union bosses who are a wholly owned subsidiary of the Democratic National Committee are out there saying, echoing whatever Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi say, Trump's a bum and he's going to destroy the world. Meanwhile, their members just got $1,000 in their pay packet this week, right? So the Democrats and their allies and their fellow travelers are going to look like monkeys. They're going to look like total fools.
They're going to look like fools, and I don't know what they're going to run on now. And I tell you, just everybody knows, these bonuses, I mean, the companies were not shy in saying, look, these bonuses are the result of the fact that our corporate tax rate is going down. And so we'll be able to take that money and give it back to our good employees that are working hard because, it's a backbone of our company. And now we have the extra funds going forward in 2018 to be able to do this, right? So that's why they're doing it.
I'm hoping that finally the American people and this country is going to get a lesson again in how the system is supposed to work. Obama and the Democrats have been saying all good things come from the government. If you want more money, the government's going to be the one to give it to you, or they're going to give you goodies. They're going to give you, Obama phones and, food stamps, and that's the only way you can get ahead. That's the only way you're going to survive, right? But now we're going to see that it's actually private enterprise and companies and having a job. The way to get ahead is to have a job. That is the way to get ahead in this country. That's the way it traditionally has been. But as we saw, Obama doesn't believe that, and the Democrats don't believe that. They've gone further and further left. They say the government's going to give you a guaranteed annual income. We through the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Obama trade fight, we heard the pro-Obama trade people saying, well, yeah, it's going to destroy jobs, and all the jobs are going to go to Vietnam, but don't worry, the government's going to give you income support payments, meaning welfare.
Right.
And that's how America is going to live in the future. Americans are all going to get checks from the government. Employment insurance, they call it. I mean, it just is, it boggles the mind. So now we're going to see this first $1,000 bonus going to the AT&T workers, the $15 pay raise to all the other workers. This is a lesson in how the American economy is supposed to work. And it could be great. It could be great.
Well, I tell you what, it is a turning point for the Trump administration, Curtis, and Trumponomics. And the next thing he's got to go to, as we have said in our advocacy of Trumponomics, is he's got to go to infrastructure. You got Paul Ryan out there, a little Paul Ryan chortling about, well, now that I finally got something done, now let's get entitlement reform and cut Medicaid and Medicare and get rid of CHIP and, grandma's check is too big or whatever the hell he's saying. This is Trump's agenda. This is not Paul Ryan's agenda. Curtis, Paul Ryan had his chance to run for president in 2012.
He couldn't even carry Wisconsin when he was on the ticket with
Bingo.
Mitt Romney. He could not even deliver his home state.
Thank you.
The guy's a loser.
Totally loser. Thank you, Curtis. See, you just made my day because I wanted to get John, because I'm the only one that's saying that. And I said that on CNN last night. I'm like, this guy he had his chance in 2012. He got his clock cleaned, and you're right, couldn't even carry his home state. So I don't really give a crap what Paul Ryan's agenda is, right? We voted for Trump. I want Trump's agenda, and that's infrastructure, roads, bridges, tunnels, putting more people to work, rebuilding the internal apparatus of the United States, which has been crumbling. And the last thing you want to tackle before going into the midterms with all this momentum is cutting your increase in Social Security for your grandmother.
Exactly.
I mean, you just can't get stupider than that. This guy is just
political instincts of a dead fish.
It's worse than that, I tell you what. Although I did have a chance to talk to him yesterday, and I got my picture taken with him. Probably I should take it down. This is the John Fredericks. After I blasted him last night, I had a picture taken with him, and he was really nice to me. And then I blasted
him. He's a really nice guy. Look, when I
he
say
is a nice guy.
Terrible things I said about him before, I don't mean personally. I mean
politics.
Politics.
He's a very nice guy. And he's got a bunch of kids. He's a good father, and everybody likes him personally.
God bless him.
So I was talking to him yesterday, and ever have one of these things happen? You talk to him, and how's your family? Fine, and hey, you're doing a good job on your radio show and all that. And then I go on CNN the same day, like 5 hours later, and blast the guy. And then I'm thinking about, I wonder if he was watching this. He's like, didn't I just tell that guy Merry Christmas? That's not very nice.